today is all about business, the entrepreneurship board. You know, the entrepreneurship board is one of the sectors that contributes to the growth of the economy of the nation. Today we have another young entrepreneur in person of Hausa Abubakar. She's going to talk to us on entrepreneurship. Welcome to Good Morning Abu.
Thank you.
Good morning and welcome on the show.
Thank you.
Yes.
To be here today.
All right, welcome.
Thank you, ma'am.
You are an entrepreneur. So can you tell us what you do? What aspect of entrepreneurship are you into?
Yeah, I'm into sachet water business.
Okay, sachet water. Okay,
Yes.
okay. So how is the production?
The sachet water business is among the competitive business we have today in Nigeria due to the simplicity of the production processes and equipment. Let's say you can start with as low as 3 million naira if you have your own structure.
Okay.
So I think a lot of people venture into that aspect of water production.
When I just heard you say it as low as 3 million naira, I became super excited because um, such a water business, especially here in FCT, one will begin to think, how do you even process this water? We know water is life, water is essential, water is something we all, in fact, no, outside air, water next. However, production of water, it takes a lot of processes. And given the regulations around water for sanitary purposes and hygienic purposes, one would think 3 million is that realistic?
I'm speaking actually based on the years I started.
Okay.
Because I started back when I think dollar was around 200 naira.
Wow.
So compared to
now.
Okay.
now,
So we're talking almost
we're
20
talking about
million.
20 million now. Let's put it to start.
Wow.
If really you want to give the quality needed, because some of the machines that you need to put in place, the treatment plants on the RO, that is the reverse osmosis machine, even that one, if you are trying to get it, is worth almost 2.5 million as we speak now. So I started seeing that based on when I started and a lot of people that joined during that period. So that was why I said as low as 3 million naira.
All right.
Exactly.
So if you want to start this business now, what equipment do you need to put in place?
Actually, like I said, you must have a good structure. You have to have the water tanks that are available. Usually, you have to have the UV light, the treatment plant, reverse osmosis machine, the automatic sealing machine, the ultraviolet rays, ozone. How will I put it? Ozone machine. So uh, so you need trucks that will convey the product after being after the production. You need staff and you need among others. And one important thing is you have to know the target market, because I can come to the central area and say I want to venture into pure sachet water business, because if you notice, a lot of people staying in the central area deal with only bottled water. So you have to look at the community first. You have to look at the target market, and why are you bringing that product into that market? You have to provide a solution to something. Maybe you want to provide a service to that community through providing job opportunities to youth living in that community, through providing safe and clean water. So I think by doing that, you're providing addressing vital needs of the community and thereby contributing to the public health.
I see there's a lot, and you're really passionate about this thing you're doing. For you, it's multifaceted. It's not just about bringing life to people, which water is about, but it's also about empowering people, being a major contributor to the personal hygiene of people, and all this is beautiful. Now, when we talk about sachet water, in the everyday palace, we refer to it as pure water. Yes. And in the past, this sachet water started from back then. I remember from as way back as 1994, 95, 96, 97, 8. It used to be what we call pure water, where they tie it in leather. Yes, then you just
Get it
fetch it from the tap and tie it in leather and put it in the fridge or something, or put ice block on it and sell it at traffic junctions. And then now we have it properly packaged with branding, with colors, with all of that, bearing the name sachet water. My what I'm driving at now is that the transformation, the transition that it has gone through, and now it is almost unaffordable water.
That is it's affordable for everyone.
Back then it started at 5 naira, 10 naira. I think now it's about 2 for 50 naira. So let's look at the business side. Why is this increase? Why is happening?
Sudden increase.
Everyone knows how the business world is.
Yes.
Overall, the economy now, you can see that things we have high inflation rates of everything, because you see these raw materials we use for the business, especially the plain nylon. Most of these nylon are being imported. And looking at the dollar rate as at now, you find out that a lot of businesses are not smiling. Most of businesses keep striving to see that they have what will I say, keep the quality of that product, so that they will be able to serve that purpose and provide good quality drinking water to the masses out there. If we are going by what we usually sell before, like you said, 5 naira, and now the water is being sold at like 2 for 15 naira, I don't think we will be able to give a good quality and hygienic water to the masses. Even it's not our doing, but these are some of the market fluctuations that we get in business and as entrepreneurs. And sometimes you might import the plain nylon that you want to use at a certain rate. Before a month, it will shoot to times 4 of what you bought it. So, and you begin to think, even we face a lot of challenges. You begin to think of today, this month, I was able to buy it at this rate, and the following month, it's like triple or 4 times what I buy it. Do you think we are going to increase the price to 4 times or 3 times what we buy it? We can't keep increasing prices every month. So sometimes we entrepreneurs, we try as much as we could when pricing our products. We try to see, even if we can have market fluctuations of some challenges along the way, we try as much as we could to see how we can handle and how will I put it, and address that issue before presenting it to the final consumer at an affordable price. So that is how it is. It's not our doing. We wish we can sell it for 3 naira if we can have cheap raw materials.
Now, sorry, I know you're itching to ask a question, but let me just follow up on this. Sometime back, I think during the COVID era, there was a time that was the first hike in the price of pure water or sachet water. And then all of a sudden, there was even a time that I said sachet water sellers or producers were going on strike because of the high cost of
raw materials.
Yes. Now, this is thinking solution now. Is there at any point where this association of sachet water producers, because I want to believe there's one.
Yes.
Okay. Is there time you now come together to say, okay, how about, or is it not possible that we produce these things you export locally?
Even when we think of about that, I think that one too is in view, is part of the association's objective. But something that we haven't started very early to implement. Let me put it that way. It's one of the challenges we face here in Nigeria, implementation. But it's not as if we don't have these companies that produce these raw materials. We have some companies in Lagos that do give us these raw materials that we work with. But sometimes the how will I put it, the masses, the number of people using that raw materials, I think maybe let me say it can't how
they can't meet up with the
can
demand.
meet up with the demand,
Okay.
that definitely some other businesses have to, some other companies that are into this leather production have to go out to import this raw materials for us to use.
Okay.
So, but it's part of what we intended as the Pure Water Association.
Okay.
It's part of the association's objectives to see that what we produce here, well, what we use in producing our materials are produced here locally.
Okay.
All right. Do you have a criteria given to anyone who wants to go into this business? Or can I just stand up a day and say, I want to start Sachi water business? Is there a criteria that you need to follow the procedure?
Yes.
So that you bring out healthy water to your customers?
Yes.
Okay.
There is a criteria.
Okay.
And these criteria, most of them are set by NAFDAC.
Okay.
So you have to meet up some certain standards. They have to come and inspect the place when you submit the place, your products, that this is what you have in mind and you want to start this. They will request you to bring a sample of the product. So they will take it to the lab for testing, and they will now come back to the building to assess and see whether certain things are put in place, from the supply of raw materials, from the procurement to the final supply of goods to the consumer. This process include how you purchase your raw materials, how you treat them, how you treat the raw materials before you even start production. So usually there is a chain that they follow coming into the factory. What they are expected to see is expected to see a netted door at the entrance of the factory. So when they meet there, the next thing they will want to see is the clock room. We call it change. Some other people call it changing room. So they want to see the clock room where workers change into their clothes and uniform, because they have boots that they will enter into the production area with. From there, the next room they are expected to see is the raw material storage room, where they need to see a UV light that sterilizes the printed nylons you're going to use to produce your water. The next is the production house. So in the production room, they're expected to see an active sealing machine that has an ultraviolet ray light behind it. They also will want to see the filters filtering the water from the treatment plant, the way the connection is into the factory. They will also check and ensure there are fans available. There are bowls that you use in collecting the water after being sealed, and a pallet into the storage area.
I know you have a lot to say, but let's go on a break first. She is an entrepreneur. She is into searching water. She has told us the productions they do, the requirements needed to produce the searching water. So let's go on a break. We'll be right back. And the programs continue. Welcome back on that break. Let's continue on the discussion on the production of searching water. Well, can you tell us the challenges you have in this business?
Yeah, there is no business that doesn't have one or two challenges. And I believe in whatever you do in life, you should be ready to face challenges along the line. Among the challenges associated with sachet water production, I think, is regulatory hurdles and establishing a reliable supply chain. I think these are some of the challenges that I do face in the business. Like, for instance, the regulatory hurdles involves knowing the laws and reforms that govern the production of sachet water, compliance with the requirements of agencies like NAFDAC and so on. When you are new to the business, it will be somehow difficult for you to know, okay, these are what I'm supposed to do, these are what I'm supposed to do, even though you seek advice from mentors before diving into the business. And like I said, maintaining a reliable supply chain. Supply chain, reliable supply chain has to do with from procurement of your raw materials to the final distribution of goods to the consumers. So along the line, let's say from the procurement of the raw materials, you can start having issues with quality, issues with suppliers not giving you the good quality, issues of not knowing the exact person that you can go and get your raw materials at a cheaper rate. Some maybe they are just middlemen between the real suppliers and you. They will tell you this is the supplier might give them at this amount, and they want to increase their own and make profit before selling to you. So all those are challenges that you can encounter in that business. And for the how will I say, for the supply of raw materials, distribution of goods from the distributors to the final consumers, you can encounter a problem whereby a staff, you wake up and notice that a staff is gone, because this is a business that pays staff on a daily basis. So when you feel, okay, I have been paid for the day and I have checked and seen something that is far better for me. Some people like jumping from one place to another. So you just wake up in a day and notice that his staff is nowhere to be found. So these are some of the challenges.
Okay. Well, one final question before we call it a wrap on the interview. But and now I want to look at quality control. From personal experience, some of us have had to take sachet water, and sometimes you test the ink in the water. Sometimes you test eaten sand. You wonder if it is well water that you've been that has been packaged
Very
for
salty.
you. And it's now I'm talking about quality control from the part of the association that at least regulates or governs your productions. Do you people check your co-colleagues to make sure that they're keeping to standard, they're keeping to the ethics, they're keeping to the professionalism that is required for hygienical purposes, so that instances of badly packaged water does not hit the market and the consumers?
Yeah, actually, like you said, part of what the association do, the Association for Table Water Producers in Nigeria, part of what they do is to liaise with regulatory bodies like the NAFDAC to ensure that factories are being checked from time to time. Sometimes you receive an unexpected visit among us. Let's say we have members of Artwork on, let's say, in Kubwa zone, those in Giri zone, those in Gwagwalada zone. There are certain teams and officials that usually go around to check ourselves. When we notice there is a certain water that is being in the market and it's not good, they try to go around to fish out those bad eggs, because in every business you have quack people going behind the doors to produce what is unhealthy. And I think that is why the association really emphasize on quality control. So anybody find one thing or the other will be penalized. I think the factory will be shut down until he or she is able to meet up with the requirements.
Yes, our discussion this morning has been on sachet water production, the regulations and guidelines that help to safeguard the water that we consume as consumers. And we've been hearing from the part of one of the producers of sachet water. We're talking about Kansau Abubakar herself, who runs a company that makes sachet water. She has taken us through the journey of water production, from how the water is sourced to how it is distributed, and the different regulations that ensure that they keep to standard as far as producing this water is concerned. We've also looked at the business side, how lucrative it is, the challenges that they face, the prospects, and what it would even cost to want to dive into this business. Funny enough, it is a business that is not very expensive to begin. This morning, we have learned a lot, and it's with great humility that I say thank you, and
Thank you for coming
on the show. Good
My
morning,
pleasure.
Abuja.
All right.
My pleasure.